Hello and welcome everyone into Algorithm Ali, and this is the second video on data analysis journey with Python. Today we are going to view the topics on variables and data types, so keep watching. So hi everyone, like I said, we'll be starting with variables and data types. Let's go ahead. So variables, like you can see in this picture, how does it look like? It's like a container which is storing a value in it, right? So variables are generally containers which has a value inside it. That's one way to define it. And secondly, when you like break down the word variable, it has a word in it like that's called varies basically means that something that changes over time, right? Again, it depends on different conditions. For example, initially, say I'm making a variable which is having a number 0 in it, in the beginning. But let's say that I am actually creating a scoring system. I'm making scores for a game, probably, and I'm making a variable score which is having a value 0 in it. Now as a game progresses, I might keep getting points. So the variable which had the word 0 in it would be now changed to 1 or 2 based upon how many points I'm getting, right? We can quickly take an example of a football match. Say for example, team A, goals and scores a point. The variable score will be incremented or changes to 1, right? So this is how incrementing or decrementing works in variables. So yes, the idea is basically variable means varies, meaning something that changes. It's a very simple example. Um, so understanding variables through Jupyter Notebook. As you can see, I've opened my Jupyter Notebook here, and I've given a markdown, a heading basically, which is called variables. In variables, let's understand how do you define a variable. Then you save a value. So for example, I'm making a score, right? Scoring system. So I'm going to give a word, just a text that says score equals to 0. This is basically an assigning or assignment operator. So if you're having a number or any value that you want to assign it to the variable, you give it with a single equals to symbol. This is how you create a variable in Python. Now, there are some rules with respect to variables, like variables can have numbers in while you're writing or defining them, but you can't put a number in the beginning. So how do we do it? Is that after writing score, just put a number, if it's necessary. Also, the second rule would be that whenever you're defining a variable with like two words or things like that, say for example, I had score and player, two different words, but the thing is that we cannot create an extra space here, and this would be an error. So either you just give an underscore to make a connection, or just change it to capital P so it makes entirely one word. So spacing is not allowed, giving numbers before is not allowed, even using um, special characters like at the rate is also not allowed. So this is how you generally create a variable. Very simple topic. I'm just storing a value 0 in it. Now say for example, I press enter to go in the next line and say print scope layer. And when I press shift enter, it basically executes the cell, and which you can see that it has printed me 0 because I was storing 0 in it, right? Now say for example, any number that you are storing in the variable, you're simply printing the variable's output here, and that's how you can see, right? Now the question is that, does a variable only hold integers or different other data types? So data types is the second topic that we'll be getting onto. But before that, I'll just give you a small hint. Like, if there is a variable, call it player equals to. So there is like even you can like store text inside a variable, and for that sake you need to give quotation marks this way. In the quotation marks, you're supposed to enter the value. Say I'll say Sneha, and then I'm going to simply say print, we can say player is here. Okay, so Yep, referring as a football player, thing like that. I'm running it so you can see it says Neha is here, right? So these are a few things on variables. Now, what is this thing that I'm typing multiple times? It's a print function, like said in the previous session. So we are basically printing things outside. Like this is my output. After I put something inside a print function, it prints me things outside here. Right. Next thing is that in a print function, you can also use something that's called a backslash n. So backslash n basically creates a new line. Say for example, just before is, I'm going to just give a backslash n. Now, initially, if you see, it was printing me Sneha is here. Now, what if I use a backslash n and enter? You can see that it takes me into a new line. So it says is here comes in the new line. Try avoiding giving any space here, because then it would look something like this, right? Creating up a space, which we don't want. So backslash n basically creates something like this. So we have understood what is a variable, how to store items inside a variable. We have understood that numbers and strings can be stored inside a variable, and this is how I can print them. Also, what is backslash n? Basically, it takes me to a new line. It's just a keyword that we're using here. And print function is our print function that prints things, like very self-explanatory. And yeah, that's about variables. Thank you. So now let's look into what are data types. Now, first of all, just before you dive in down and understand what is data and data types, let's break down the word. So it's basically like types of data, right? Data is nothing but your information. Information can be anything. It could be your name, it could be age, mobile number, anything. So that's a data, and we need to just find out like what type of data that is. So if I'm talking about a number like 12, that's an integer value or a numerical value, like we can see on the screen it says integer. uh, we can see in the second example that it says a equals to Sneha in the quotes. So basically this is a text, or we could say that anything that is written inside quotes are called strings. Okay, we call it strings in general programming language. So this is an integer, which is a number, and it's called strings. Now there are not just two data types in Python, there are like these many, and there could be one or two more. The other one is like the boolean value, which I'll be showing you ahead. It's not there here, but yes. So it's like integer, strings, list, tuple or tuple, call it anything, dictionary and set. So let's see and go through each of them one by one quickly. So as we start with data types in Python, the first one comes with numbers. Numbers, we know like it's one, two, or three whole numbers and all. But there are like three more types in numbers, which is like integer, float, and complex numbers. So integers are nothing but general whole numbers. Float is on the other hand like your decimal value, and complex numbers are like your vector forms. So this is like not used that much, the complex one, but integer and float is used a lot in Python. So we have to keep that in mind. So integer is like the normal number, and float is your decimal value. Next we have boolean. So boolean, it comes like with two outputs, so which could be either true or false. So that's the two different outputs that you will see, so true and false. That's boolean. Then comes set. So set basically, it's just set of numbers. You might have studied in your class 9th or 10th that you have curly brackets and some numbers inside it. That's basically a set. There are certain rules with set data types that a set does not allow any duplicate values. Even if you give a duplicate value and print it, it won't print that. So it'll just avoid it. At the same time, uh, yeah, it also has a lot of other functions like union or intersection. So we'll be definitely checking them out. Then you have dictionary. So dictionary is kind of similar to set, but dictionary comes up with a pair of key and value. Say for example, I wanted to create a dictionary of one of my student in the class, and say that the key is going to be name, and then comes the name of the person. So I'm going to show this all as an example on the Jupyter notebook once we get over there. The other one you have is sequence. In sequence we have like three other types, which is like strings, lists, and tuple. So strings are nothing but, like we saw, it's like any kind of text that's given mostly in quotation marks. It could be a symbol, number, text, anything that you write in double quotes. values. That's a string. List, on the other hand, it's basically values written inside a square bracket. Just list of numbers, right? The name represents it. Then comes tuple. So tuple or tuple, call it anything. So tuple is like similar. It has a similarity with the list. We'll be seeing few differences in between these. So let's go ahead with that. Yes, let's begin. So, with data types, like I said in the previous part, that data types as in type of data, and now here we have certain data types examples that I have with me. In this cell, if you look at these variables, I have some variables like year of birth, your height in centimeters, a variable like subject. So these are variables which are having different type of values stored inside them. So year of birth is having a number, so it's basically an integer data type. Height is in the form of decimal. So decimal basically are your float values. The subject is, let's say, data science. So this is a string value. And there is a variable called is success. You can make any variable that you want. And here I am storing true. So true basically falls under the Boolean category, if you remember. So in Boolean, we have true and false both. And true is currently what I'm storing in it. True is basically like you're setting up a value to true, or giving a value assigned to true. Later you can change to false, and this is mostly used in different types of like loops and stuff. We'll be checking this out going forward. Then the other thing is like you see that I'm using a print function to print all the variables. Now let me just run this by pressing shift enter, and there you go. So it is like printing me all the um, basically everything about what I'm having in the variable. So if you see print year of birth, it is printing me the value. Now the you know if you are having a value with you, but you're not really sure that if the value is an integer or a string or anything, if you want to basically find out the data type of any value, how would you do that? So there is something called as a type function that we use. You can also use d type or simply say type, anything. So I'll just remove the comment from here, and here you can see that now I've said print. Then notice this section. So I said type, and in the brackets of type, I have passed the variable year of birth. So basically, this type function reads out the value which is there inside the variable and prints me the output. So this has to tell me that it's an integer, because I'm storing an integer value in it. And same thing I'm like doing for the rest of the other variables to find out their data type. So like we know what these values are because we just learned, but in case you forget about it, you can simply use this type function to find out. So let me run this, and here you can see this represents as a class. So it belongs to class integer, a float, string, and boolean, right? So these are the classifications. Now that's about these four variables, four data types. And let's see the other ones, which is like list. So in a list, you have a square bracket in which you assign some values. Now a list can allow you to give, like the name represents list, right? So list of values, a lot of values can be given inside it. I'm currently storing all of string values. You can also store an integer value, combination of values. So multiple values can be given. So right now I have given list of fruits, and the special part of list is that it can also take duplicate values inside itself. So here you can see I'm having kiwi. I can repeat kiwi like this. A value can be repeated inside a list, and lists are basically called as mutable. What is mutable in this section? So mutable basically means anything that can change. Okay. uh, as in, if I'm having a set of values stored inside a list, it does not mean that I cannot change them going forward. I can change them, and that is what it means, mutable. So the values can be updated or changed that way. And that makes a difference with tuple. So tuple are similar with list, but this is one of the difference, that tuples are immutable, meaning that nothing can inside it can be changed. We cannot change anything which is stored inside that, or basically like I cannot update it, or That's basically it. It cannot be changed. So in a list I can have list of values that can be duplicate values too. When I run this, you can see that I've said here fruits. Wait, there is an error. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot to give a quote. So yes, a string must be given in coverage of quotation marks, and when you run it out, you can see that it prints you the whole list. Going with tuples 2, we would just say fruits here and run this. It is printing you the thing. Let's try giving a duplicate value in tuple. Let's see if it accepts it. So we say kiwi. I close the quotation, this time making no mistake, and running it again. So yes, even tuple allows giving duplicate values. So going forward, I will be creating another video in which we will be discussing into more depth of these data types, which is list, tuple, dictionary, and set, because it's not only this functionality of list. It has a lot of other things, lot of other functions that or operations that happen inside these data types. So I'm going to make the second video, basically it's like part 2 for data types, which will be very much helpful for understanding how do you manipulate these kind of data sets, right? So that's all about list and tuple. Let's jump on dictionary. Now if you pay attention, we have given like curly brackets for a dictionary. This is how they represent. Okay, we do not use square up the parenthesis or the round brackets. We use the curly brackets. Now pay attention to the values given inside it. We can see that the commas are given after pair of some numbers. The first pair, the part of the pair, is basically a string where I have a name Sneha, and then there is a colon separated with the number, which is like 25 or something. So let's say that I'm having set of students names, which is having name of the student and their age, and this pair is called key and value pair. Okay, we give it like the key comes first, then comes the value of the key. So key here is like the name of the student, the value for that is 25, the age basically. And same thing I'll repeat for the other sets. Like if I'm having for other students, I'm going to give it this way, right? So this is like a pair of key and value separated with a colon, and every set is being separated by a comma. Inside a dictionary there are a lot of other combinations. We will be learning about what is a nested dictionary, nested list, and a lot of other things going forward. So yes, for now this is basically the structure of dictionary. That's what I want you to remember as of now. You say student to print the result, so I'm just saying student, shift enter to run, and here is our output that it prints, basically the entire dictionary. Now, what is this? Like it's a set. Let's see the difference between set and a dictionary. What do we see here? Is it is quite similar to dictionary though, but it does not have a value, a pair of key and value. It just has like multiple values inside curly brackets. Now, if you recall your class 10th or class ninth, probably you have studied about sets. We have studied about like how you make union set, intersection, and a lot of other things. It is exactly the same thing. We will be learning into the deeper sections of set going forward after we cover tuple, list, and dictionaries. We'll be understanding about set later. It's very easy and quite simple topic. You'll have a quick recollection of your class 9 and 10. So yeah, that's about it. And you given curly brackets. Well, yes, one more interesting thing about set is, if you notice, I've given like duplicate values in it. I have Sneha repeated. Now let me just run this and see if it prints me the duplicate value. Well, it does not. And the other interesting thing that we have noticed here is, in my set I started giving the name Sneha first, and this is my order. But when I'm running it, the order is not maintained. The order keeps changing. Let's run this again and say that if some other name comes first. Yeah, it does. Basically it's the same thing. So each time, like I'm doing any change and I'm running it, so I'm having that unordered set. So sets are basically unordered. However you give them, it does not print as it is. It just takes any random order and then prints it out. So yes, also do not forget that set does not accept any duplicate values. It will simply ignore them or take the unique values out of it and print it, right? So that's that about the data types. So let's see in the next session and understand in depth about list, tuple, dictionary, and set. Okay, thank you so much.